Guys, it's Joel from Joel Reviews here to review the Sony press conference E3 2017, and hey, it was the second best press conference, so I really can't complain much, but there's a few issues I do have, to be completely honest, but we'll get to those at the very end of the video. Let's talk about the good. So, Sony came out and they're like, we're just all about the games. We're going to show a bunch of games. In reality, they didn't show very many games. But the games they did show, we pretty much knew every single game they were going to show. And really, the biggest one that nobody had any clue about was Shadow of the Colossus, which it's a great game, already been made, so that was cool. But everybody was there to really see God of War and Uncharted, and we got that. Oh, and Spider-Man, and we got those, and we got a little bit of gameplay, but not as much as normal for Sony, and I'm a little bit shocked that they didn't show more. They did more of a cinematic quality to God of War, which I want to see the gameplay more than what they showed. Same with Spider-Man. If it's actually going to look like that in-game, wow, Spider-Man's going to look fantastic and probably second best game on the PlayStation 4 Pro. The first would probably be God of War, because that game looks... Oh, it looks amazing. Sony, but why didn't you show any more games? I mean, I do have an issue with that. But let's talk about some more good. So they went through a whole bunch of games. They had God of War, they had Spider-Man, they had Uncharted, they had the the zombie game. I can't remember the name of it. It looks fantastic. They had Shadow of the Colossus. They had Destiny 2. They had Call of Duty. They had, some other games. A couple VR titles. But what shocked me was when they did the VR, they came out with Skyrim. So not only did Bethesda do Fallout 4, they're now doing Skyrim. Oh my god! I cannot wait to play that on the VR. Like, that's fantastic. Those two really will show whether or not the VR can be handled with 20 and 30 hour games. I know Skyrim can last 50 hours to 120 hours, and same with Fallout. But I mean, these big open world games, can our eyes actually handle that long of a game? Can we be able to handle that much in VR? And how will it actually look in VR? Because both Fallout 4, I know it's more of a current gen game, but it really looked like a last gen title. It wasn't the best looking game. It's the best Bethesda open world looking game, but it was not the best looking open world sandbox. That would go to, right now, The Witcher or Grand Theft Auto 5. So if they can show those graphics that were intended for at least last gen consoles on the VR headset, I'm cool with that. So we'll see where that goes, and especially with them having Doom, we'll see where that goes, because I know the PlayStation 4 VR is not the best one out there, but more audiences will have the better experiences with the PlayStation VR because more consumers actually have PlayStation 4s. So it's going to be awesome to see if our eyes and if our mind can actually handle that without getting sick with that much time, because most VR titles are only about 2 to 3 hours long, if that. So we'll see if we can handle this, and if this is going to be the next big thing in video games. And I hope it is, because that's really a cool new reality mindset, like we're in the game and it's going to be really cool. So I'm excited about that. Other than that, I wasn't really too impressed with the Sony press conference because it was all stuff we really knew, and they didn't show Crash Bandicoot, which I know is coming out in a few weeks, coming out next week, but I would think they would have shown Crash Bandicoot. Another one they didn't show, which really confused my mind and really took this press conference down, was Last of Us 2. Where is it? Big game. Wanted to see stuff. And the last problem I really had with their press conference was everything is really coming out next year for PlayStation. So everybody complained about the Microsoft press conference where they didn't really have any big wow games. They didn't really have any games that were like, woo-wee, we should be a Microsoft fanboy. Sony, on the other hand, had a whole bunch, but they're not coming out till next year. So Microsoft has next year's E3 to blow us away, blow us out of the water, while Sony is blowing us out of the water next year. But their E3 press conference next year, they're going to have to show a whole bunch of stuff we don't know about. Get us into it. Excite us. Because everything's coming out next year, so they're going to have stuff for 2019. While Microsoft's going to be like, boom, 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 boom. I'm hoping and going, here's our games this year. So, Sony, next year, a lot more games and show a lot more exclusives that are new and excite us. Make us pumped. That was last year. You guys had us all pumped. So next year, have us all pumped. But good on you guys for just showing games. I will give this press conference an A. It was good. It was excellent. You guys should go check it out. But it's not their best press conference because everything's coming out next year. And they didn't really show off stuff you didn't know about. So, with that in mind, guys, please subscribe. Please like my video. And if you guys have any comments or questions or anything, post them down below. See ya.